Changes in the weather. Earth's rotation. The Earth rotates around itself and revolves around the Sun. It takes 24 hours to rotate around itself. Rotating around itself, it also goes around the Sun. It takes the Earth 1 year to revolve around the Sun. It is day in the part of the Earth that is towards the Sun. It is night in the part that is not in front of the Sun. The axis of the Earth is slightly inclined. This has given rise to seasons on the Earth. Reasons for changes in weather. On the Earth, the weather does not remain the same over the year. During the year, we see the seasons change from summer to rainy season and then to winter. That is why there are changes in the weather. What is the nature of these weather changes? Summer changes. In summer, every day sunlight lasts for a longer period of time. Days are longer in summer and the sun too is strong. This causes the land to become very hot. As the land becomes hotter, the air adjacent to it also heats up. That is why the weather is hot in summer. What trouble does it cause if you go out in the strong sun? Why do some people bathe in cold water in summer? Winter changes. In winter, days are shorter and the sun too is not strong, so the land does not become very warm and neither does the air near the land. Therefore, the weather is cool in winter. In short, the heating of the land depends upon the heat received from the sun. Earth and its climate. The location of a place on the Earth determines the kind of climate the place will have. Places at the north and south extremes of the Earth have very cold climate. As we move from either the north or the south to the middle, the climate becomes warmer. Some places on the Earth get abundant rainfall. Also, it is hot in these places. Such places have a humid climate. It is dry where there is no rain. Thus, we can say that climate may be of different types such as cold, hot, humid or dry. Heating of land and water. Try this. Take 2 plastic basins of the same size. Fill one basin with water and the other with sand. Place both the basins in the sun throughout the day. In the afternoon, feel the sand and water in turn. Which of the two is hotter? Sometime after sunset, feel the sand and water again to find out which of the two is warmer. What do we learn from this activity? In the afternoon, the sand is hotter in comparison with the water. The water is relatively cool. In the evening, the sand is cool. In comparison, the water is warm. Land and water are heated to different extents by the sun. In other words, land or soil gets heated quickly and cools quickly too. On the other hand, water heats up slowly and cools down slowly. Thus, the time taken by land and by water to heat up or to cool down is different. Therefore, there is a difference in the temperature of the air over land and that over water. What is humidity? Observe this. When water is spilt on the tiles, they become wet. But after a while, the water disappears and the tiles look dry again. Wet clothes become dry after some time. Why does this happen? Water turns into vapor all the time, and the vapor thus formed mixes with the air. When the amount of vapor in the air at a particular place increases, the weather there becomes humid. When there is less water vapor in the air, the weather is dry. Our daily life is influenced by weather. Along with changes in the weather, we find that there is a change in our diet, the cereals we eat, and the clothes we wear. In hot regions, people eat oily foods which are hot to taste. People living in cold regions have a diet rich in fats and sweets. The food grains used are also seen to differ with the climate. People in South India and Konkan have more rice in their diet, while people in North India use more wheat. Fish is a major item in the diet of people living on the sea coast. As the weather changes, we make changes in the kinds of clothes we wear. In winter, we use woolen clothes or clothes that keep the body warm. In summer, we wear loose cotton clothes which keep our body cool. Discuss in class how we protect ourselves from the rain. What kind of climate do places near the sea have? What work does the Indian Meteorological Department do? What happens when water vapor cools down? Try this. Take some water in a vessel and heat it. When the water starts boiling, take the help of an adult to hold a cold lid over the steam. You will see droplets of water collecting on the lid. Where did this water come from? The steam cools down when it comes in contact with the cold lid. As it cools, it forms droplets of water. Have you seen the mist early on a winter morning? When water vapor cools suddenly, it forms very fine particles instead of drops of water. These fine particles keep floating in the air. Where the atmosphere is full of such tiny particles, you see a mist. When water vapor at a height cools suddenly, it forms small particles of ice. These particles come together to form snow. Snow, which looks like fluffs of cotton, falls to the earth slowly, causing a snowfall. There is snowfall in very cold places like Kashmir. There is no snowfall in Maharashtra. Sometimes we get hail. Hailstones are small pebbles of ice. The water in the sea and on the land evaporates and mixes with the air. This process goes on continuously. The water vapor in the air changes back into water and comes down as rain. Why is there snow all the time in some regions of the Himalayas? Forecasts of the weather are given regularly in newspapers and on Akashvani, that is, on radio, and Doordarshan, that is, on television. These forecasts help us to plan our day. Try this. Read the weather forecasts given in a newspaper. Using the table below, keep a record for all the days of any 1 week of every season. Artificial rain. Ordinarily, June to September are the rainy months. However, the amount of rain that falls during these months every year is not fixed. The clouds hold water, but it is not enough, and so it does not rain. Then the clouds have to be observed regularly. If clouds which could give rain are seen, common salt or silver iodide are sprayed on them from an aeroplane. This causes the water vapor in the clouds to condense and fall down as rain. This technique of causing artificial rain is being brought into use nowadays, but it is very expensive.